Hey everyone, welcome to the replay. Thank you so much guys for joining. Today we're going to be talking about a quiz that I'm sharing on my blog, thedomesticwildflower.com. And the quiz is, what is your preserving personality? You can head to thedomesticwildflower.com to take the quiz, or there's the shortened URL wldflr.com/preserving personality quiz. Because the title's kind of long, sorry, neither is that much shorter, but there's two options to get to the same place. Hey, thank you for joining. Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Jenny, and I blog at thedomesticwildflower.com, and I share sewing, canning, and old-fashioned DIY. I'm really good at helping brand new beginners get started. Hey, Jennifer. My name's Jennifer, too. Thanks for being here. So while we wait for people to hop on in here, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I would love it if you guys would touch the little Periscope person and share this out with your followers. We're going to be talking about what kind of preserver we are. My name is Jenny, and I blog about sewing, canning, and old-fashioned DIY. So I help people create more handmade and homemade in their lives. And I have a really fun Facebook group that I'd love to see you guys in. It's called Grow Like a Wildflower. So just type that into the Facebook search box, and I'd love to have you join in there. That's like a really great place if you want to share, if you want to share recipes for homemade bread, or you want to ask, why is my kombucha fizzing like this? Or what's the best no aluminum deodorant? Questions like that. We have a ton. We're getting close to 500 people. And it's a very engaged group. It's really fun. And I would love for you to join the Facebook group Grow Like a Wildflower. But today we're here talking about a quiz that I have published this morning on my blog, The Domestic Wildflower, and it's the Preserving Personalities quiz. So I'm going to flip this around. You can see what it looks like when you get to the site. What's your preserving personality? So there are, believe it or not, several different types of people, and their attitudes about preserving really are fairly different. And this little quiz, it's pretty quick to read. It was actually super fun to write. So I would love for you guys to join in the fun by taking the quiz yourself. So I'm going to share with you the questions right now. I'm going to prop this up maybe so it's not, I'm at my day job. That's why I have a wolf in the background. He's supposed to signify wisdom, but I don't think wolves are all that wise. But let's see here. Oh, perfect. Okay, so the first question in the quiz is, you're strolling the local farmer's market and you see a huge flat of your favorite fruit, peaches, at a bargain price. You know you cannot possibly eat them all fresh, and your corgi isn't a fan of stone fruit. What do? A, feel certain that you shouldn't risk making yourself sick. You can't miss work. And all those peaches look a little wrinkly or fuzzy. That must be mold, so you move on. B, you love a challenge, but you failed that one time you tried to make beef Wellington, and you know canning those peaches must be way harder than that. You know your great Aunt Nadine used to can, but she lives in a different time zone and can't hear on the phone very well, so you leave the stand wishing you were a little more kitchen savvy. C, haul that flat home. You will crack open a canning cookbook and a cold one, follow the recipe closely, remember to check the lids carefully before storing, and pat yourself on the back for your industry. D, call in reinforcements and help you take them all. You buy every peach in sight, seek out high-quality vanilla beans and some small batch liqueur to flavor the syrup, bake a cheesecake while the jars are processing. Easy peachy. So that's the first question, and if you are following along, you should keep track of which letter you think would fit you best. Number 2, when it comes to preserving food at home, your greatest worry is A, botulism. Get that and you're a goner. That's what Napoleon died from, right? B, burning yourself. You're edging toward the hot mess descriptor when it comes to cooking, and though you like being in the kitchen, when things get complicated, you tend to screw things up. C, breaking a jar in the canning pot. So much work wasted when that happens. Now you have to figure out how to avoid it in the future. D, failing to get a perfect set when you make marmalade, or too thick a lemon custard. Those pesky eggs cook up in a hurry if you're not careful. with custard. 3, you'd like to give homemade gifts for the holidays. You, A, are sure you'd send your friends to the hospital with homemade jam, so you buy some cutesy jars of jelly from the organic section of the supermarket and ignore the outrageous price tag. B, open that old canning cookbook your mom gave you, but the long set of directions, including lots of pots and pans, coming to a boil deter you. You gift homemade cocoa mix in mason jars, which is cute, but you feel a little lame giving the exact same thing as every other vaguely crafty gal around. Option C, pick a canning recipe you've made before. Thank you for joining. Get some tiny jars, follow the cookbook closely, and you end up with a dozen ruby-colored jars, a messy cooktop, and a happy heart. Your family will be so impressed. Hey, so I'm sharing a quiz for what is your personality, your preserving personality, and you can take the quiz digitally on the Domestic Wildflower, or just follow along with me. I'm only 3 questions in. D, have trouble deciding on which flavor or color theme to tackle, but decide on making a medley of canned champagne jelly, so festive. A batch of roasted red pepper hot sauce, your uncle looks forward to that every year, and a delicious Concord grape and walnut conserve. Stockings are stuffed yet again with the fruits of your labor. Question 4. You are in charge of hosting a large family dinner. You feel A, very overwhelmed. You want things to go the right way and do a good job, but you feel like the only choice is to go to a fabulous restaurant. B, somewhat stressed. There's so much to cook and you never know what to cook when. You need an assistant. Yikes. C, like you need to make a long list of tasks to be done before the dinner, the day before, and the day of. You call your uncle, who is so good at great at roasting meat, for advice. You get your sister's recipe for those terrific rolls. You spend a lot of time reading cookbooks in the meantime and pinning recipes you hope will be good, and you do your best by following the lists, the recipes, and calling for help when need be. D, a little bored. You do this sort of thing all the time, and your traditional family isn't really interested in eating a wildly different meal. You'll just prepare all the courses like usual and try to choose an exotic cocktail to spice things up. Hey, thank you for coming along, Brooke. I'm reading and sharing my Preserving Personality quiz. Ooh, you're D? Okay, good. That's great. Thank you. So I'm on question 5. So just keep track mentally if you're following along, if you're in A, B, C, or D. So question 5. Complete this sentence. Canning is A, a great way to get food poisoning. You've read about it. It can cause an explosion in the kitchen if you aren't careful with that metal lid. B, the way food gets into cans, right? C, a way of preserving food in glass jars. D, a method of preservation where hot food fills hot jars, a lid is applied, and they are submerged in a boiling water bath. The oxygen is forced from the canning jar, which creates an airtight seal, and the resulting food product is shelf stable for up to a year. That's answer D. Question 6. Respond to this statement. Canning and pressure canning are A, risky business. Those lids can shoot off if the pressure isn't released. B, I'm sorry, there are 2 kinds of canning. C, different, but I'm not quite sure how. D, different means of achieving the same result. One is meant for preserving high acid foods, and the other is low acid foods. Brooke, I'm sharing my Preserving Personalities quiz that I wrote for my blog. Am I on my right channel? I'm always afraid I'm going to be on the wrong channel. Brooke, you tell me. Oh, okay, good. Jelly is, decide if A, B, C, or D fits you. The prompt is, okay, good. Good. Jelly is A, delicious, and I wish I could make it myself. B, probably crazy hard. It is so clear and pretty. C, I think you use pectin or a green apple to make it stiff, but it is basically just fruit juice and sugar, right? D, a clear preserve in which all fruit matter is removed except when purposely left like in a soft marmalade. That gelled juice suspends slices of grapefruit beautifully. 8, this is the last question. A, giving homemade jam or applesauce would really show my effort and would be a unique and enjoyable gift. B, it seems really practical. Jars upon jars in the pantry of ready-made pasta sauce for way cheaper than store-bought, or a healthy snack that you don't have to remember to add to the grocery list? Yes, please. C, it is so satisfying. You can spend an hour and then you have a dozen or so jars of jam or applesauce or pickles. You can eat them yourself, impress your mother-in-law, give us gifts. The sky's the limit. D. Within its rules and structure, you find limitless creativity in ingredients, ratios, and application of the finished product. It also provides you with farm fresh taste year-round, and what home cook doesn't want that? So on the blog, thedomesticwildflower.com, you'll find the quiz, and if you've answered mostly A's, you will click the mostly A's hot pink button. If you chose B's, you'll click the mostly B's button, and that's green. If you chose mostly C's, you'll click the pretty yellow button, and it says mostly C's. And if you chose mostly D's, you'll click the mostly D's button, and that is a pretty aqua color. So for those of you that got to listen, which type of preserver are you? Tell me. You're a D. What's your favorite type of preserving to do? Do you like preserving like pressure canning, or you think that, yeah. You missed like maybe the first question, but if you think you're a D, you're probably a D. I'd love to hear what kind of preserving you like to do. Oh, I can go back if you'd like, but I bet if you chose D for the last four, you probably would choose them for the first. But you can check out the quiz online anyway, if you'd like. You like chutneys? Oh, good. I made a walnut and Concord grape conserve. I wrote that actually in the quiz, but that was my first conserve, and it was so good. And I loved how it was like, just in one jar, it was like made a much more filling peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I know that sounds really kind of lowbrow, I guess, but it was very good. And the Concord grape, you know how Concord grapes, maybe you don't have those where you live, but they aren't sticky sweet like a table grape. And they're not tart, but they do have they have a different flavor, and it really goes well with walnuts. And so it was like a very nice, sophisticated turn on chunky peanut butter. You know, it's very good. I think it was very good. And it was more filling. It was like more of a meal and less of just a sweet thing on some bread. It was very good, I thought. Conserves. Really? That's interesting. I wonder why not. Okay. Yeah, really. Interesting. I don't know. I wonder why that is. Are nuts like a thing that's sort of hard to get there? I live in California. I don't live in the Central Valley where all the nuts are grown, but I do live north of there. So I'm used to having good fresh almonds and walnuts and whatever in the grocery store all the time. Oh, just Conkers. Oh, I see. Oh, Concord grapes. I know. Okay, I gotcha. Your phone, I thought it corrected to, I gotcha. I do live where Concord grapes grow, but those are a little different. They eat all nuts. I see. Like on the East Coast, I don't know that they have Concord grapes, but I do know they have these real round, very globe-like Scuppernong grapes. They're mentioned in the novel To Kill a Mockingbird. And those are like, that's their regional specialty grape, or like their other kind of grape, I guess, other than like the standard table grape. But, whoopsie! Sorry to drop you. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. And I think I'm going to hop off, but I'd love to see you guys in the Grow Like a Wildflower Facebook group. You should definitely head there. Leary Keeley. I'm saying Concord grapes. So maybe we are talking different things, but they're purple. Oh, some of them are green. They have seeds. And the skins are really tasty, but they're a little more toothsome than a regular table grape. Sorry. I thought your phone was correcting you to say, instead of conquer, but I gotcha. It's a different thing. It's a wild thing. It's a super fascinating, if I were to go back to college and do it all over again, I might study like cultures of food and culture or something, because it is really fascinating what people eat. But anyway, I'd love to see you in the Grow Like a Wildflower Facebook group, and I definitely hope that you head to thedomesticwildflower.com to take the What is Your Preserving Personality quiz. Hopefully you have a great day. It was nice to meet you. Hopefully it'll see you on Periscope again. Hey, I'd love it if you did. Why don't you share this out with your followers and see if they would enjoy it too. Thanks so much, Leary Keeley. Thank you.